Welcome to this new series. This is Hideo Midoriya. Today we're going to be talking about a more in-depth wrestling thing. This is the new series, Wrestle Talk Episode 1. I decided to do backbreaking news without the wrestling themes anymore, because I honestly think that it should be its own standalone series, so I could talk about all wrestling and nothing else at one show I do. So this is going to be backbreaking news, but all wrestling. So the first topic is why I think Fastlane isn't going to be the best pay-per-view. And I think the matches are definitely going to probably be good, but because most Triple H things are. But I would definitely have to say this pay-per-view has nothing exciting, and it has 4 matches. And all of them, 3 of them are from SmackDown, 1 from Raw. There's only 2 that interest me. And the thing is, there's nothing that really grabs your attention, as I said before. And if it does, it's your opinion, basically. But if you have, honestly, I hate to say this, but the only interesting matches are Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura last man standing for the World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, it's going to be a good match, knowing the men involved. So why would I even call it? Why would I even say, no, I don't like this? Because it's going to be exciting. If you follow this, what could follow this match? You were saying John Cena and LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. I honestly think this match is going to be exciting, mostly because of the concept that Jimmy and Jay are no longer a team, per se. And I just want to see how far this goes. Will Sikoa and Jimmy be the new main attraction for the Bloodline? Because if so, I only think that this is going to work because the men involved in it, John Cena and LA Knight. You know what I mean? Jimmy and Sikoa have no chemistry as a tag team quite yet. Even though they're brothers, they're not as, rememberable as the Usos. You want me to tell you the major, but I feel like it has an interesting concept, but then you go into the other matches, and it's like, oh, the LWO versus the Hurt Business. I understand why people are excited for this, because Bobby Lashley, it's a 6-man tag team match, and the Street Profits working together. I mean, it's exciting, but it's not going to draw a crowd. Rey Mysterio is past his prime, and there's a lot of good wrestlers past their prime, but Bobby Lashley is too. You have 2 old guys, maybe 2 in their 30s. It could be a good match, but we all know what's going to happen with this. Bobby Lashley is utterly going to destroy Rey Mysterio if he's in the match. So bad that Rey Mysterio probably is not going to be United States Champion anymore. How good do you expect it to be with the other match following that is Charlotte Flair, Asuka, and Io Sky for the WWE Women's Champion, I believe. Literally, no one's excited for this. If it was Asuka and Io Sky, that would be more exciting. more exciting because it would get more talked about and it would make history. But come to think about it, adding Charlotte Flair is just adding Charlotte Flair because Charlotte Flair gets so many opportunities because she's Charlotte Flair and the son of not the son of Ric Flair, the daughter of Ric Flair, and because her last name is Flair. That's the only reason why she's in this match. What other matches could you have that make this any better? Like the only match I could think about that could happen is Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley. And I'm telling you, the last thing people wanted to see was Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley. Now, in theory, it could be good, but we all know Nia Jax isn't that good of a wrestler, in my opinion. Rhea Ripley would carry the whole match. So, in my opinion, this is just in my opinion, that if you think of it like that, if you think about it, what other matches could they have besides that? You have to have 3 for Raw too. So that's 2 for Raw. So what's the third one gonna be? It's probably gonna be Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, Damian Priest, and what's his face? JD McDonough. Who's excited to see that? The only reason why people would like it is for Cody Rhodes, and Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens, and the Judgment Day. Just because they're Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens, and Jey Uso, and the Judgment Day. I honestly think that the storylines are going into this are also not that interesting. Like LA Knight and John Cena versus the Bloodline. The Bloodline beating up all of John Cena's partners, and you called that, and then LA Knight comes along. You called that a storyline. You want me to tell you what's the story to it? What's the story? John Cena needs a tag team partner. LA Knight comes along. They have zero build to the match, and then it's either going to be a good and bad match because John Cena can't wrestle as good as he used to. Now, is that the whole story they're planning to go into this? Because that's setting them up for failure, in my personal opinion. I think it could be good. And then Charlotte Flair, Asuka, and Io Sky. Don't even ask me what the storyline to that match is. Asuka and Io Sky, I know the storyline too. They're tag team partners, and Asuka wants her world title back. Charlotte Flair's just there because really. And that's the whole storyline to that. And then don't get me started with the Bloodline. Not the Bloodline. Roman Reigns. Not Roman Reigns. I can't think. The LWO versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits or the Hurt Business. What's the point of this? They got beat up once and that causes a match? With that logic, there will be 100 matches on every card. Honestly. I think I had the perfect match. Gunther one time attacked James Ellsworth. Let's make it a pay-per-view match. That's basically the logic going into this. And that's going to set them up for failure once again. I hate to say it. But these storylines could be... And don't get me started with Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura. The whole story is, Seth Rollins has back pain. You want me to tell you what? A lot of people have to suffer through back pain. And if his back was hurting that bad, I doubt he would be able to move nearly as much as he does in the ring. And it's like saying I have a broken leg and I do a bunch of high-flying moves. It's essentially ridiculous. And the whole storyline is, oh, I'm gonna take Seth Rollins' family from him by hurting him in the back. Since they wrestled once under the same storyline, how long is it gonna take before no? I honestly think it's quite ridiculous. But that could just be me. It literally makes no sense. No sense at all. Like, what? Seth Rollins has a hurt back. I guarantee he would not be, like, even at the last pay-per-view, I guarantee he would not be able to lift his leg up for that stomp if he has a hurt back. Now, they could have made it more realistic and just let Shinsuke Nakamura win, but we know that ain't gonna happen, because the day Shinsuke wins the title, dogs will fly, okay? If we're being honest here, the only... And let's think about the possible matches. What would be the storyline for Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley? Boo-hoo, you attacked me once, I got hurt. Feud, that's the same thing, literally, as the other two. I mean, all four of the matches. Like, get attacked, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Let's have a match. And you want me to tell you what? That's the reason why I don't understand. How could, like, an attack start a whole feud? You want me to tell you what? It has as much logic as Seth Rollins wrestling with back pain. More. No, it makes as much sense as Cody Rhodes wrestling with a broken arm. The only time he actually got hurt and wrestled was when he had a torn pec, which I don't know how he done, and that's really amazing. And more power to him because he actually did it. But I'm telling you, there's certain things you cannot wrestle with. You could wrestle with a torn pec, but you can't wrestle with a broken arm, back problems, because that causes you. It would affect how fast you run, like, and how athletic you could be, because you won't be able to do all these jumps and turns like Seth Rollins is able to do. And you want me to tell you what? That's what I don't get. If you're making a whole match about Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura, it should be more interesting. That's all I'm going to say. Goodbye.